Hello and welcome to today's 5 at 5. I'm so grateful that you joined me as we continue to talk about Hannah. The last time we were together, we talked about how we can relate to Hannah, right? How Hannah was provoked, and we talked about how the enemy provokes and taunts us in our barrenness. And then her response, how it was so painful. Today I want to look at her response. It says in verse 11, and she vowed a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your servant and remember me and not forget your servant, but will give to your servant a son, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall touch his head. Now I'm going to stop there. I could continue, but what I want to say here is that she again took it to the Lord in prayer. But I believe her prayer this time was different. Basically, what Hannah was saying is that if you give me what I'm asking for, I'm going to give it back to you. I truly believe that sometimes we don't have the things that we want. We haven't birthed what we desire to birth because our motive is not right. And we've got to get to a point where what it is that we are going to birth, we are willing to give it completely to the Lord. The Bible says you have not because you ask not. And then when you ask with the wrong motive. And so we have to make sure, what is the why behind the want? What is the why behind the want? I want this baby. I want this marriage, or this man, or this woman, or whoever. I want this job. I want to write this book. I want to do this, that, and the other. This is what I want. But why? Why? Are you willing to give what it is that you're wanting back to the Lord? Are you willing to say, God, it's yours? This, whatever it is that you give me, it belongs to you, and I want it to bring you glory and honor and praise. I believe that's what happened. Hannah got to a point where she might have been praying before, year after year, I want this baby, I want this baby, I want this baby, I want this baby. But here we see her saying, and I will give this baby back to you all the days of his life. And so I just want us to consider in our spiritual barrenness, or whatever it is that we may feel that we're wanting that we don't have, that we've been praying about year after year, that the enemy has been taunting and picking and poking and prodding and saying, ha, 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 look at so-and-so. They already have what you want. But I'm wondering, have you gotten to a point where you're surrendered and you say, Lord, if you give me this thing, I promise I'll give it back to you. For it's not for my glory, but it's for your glory. I think sometimes if we reevaluate even some of the things we want, we would have to say, is it for my glory or is it for the Lord's glory? Well, you know the story. Eli, the priest, thought she was drunk because of the way she was crying. She's like, no, this is what's going on. I'm just really upset. And I'm crying because, and she ends up, God hears her prayers and she ends up conceiving a child. And what's amazing about this is this: she did exactly what she said she was going to do. And how often God gives us something and we make a promise, it's going to be yours, Lord. It's going to be yours. You give me this job, I'm going to honor you in this. And the next thing you know, all you're doing is working, and there's no place for God. If you give me this husband, this wife, our marriage is gonna bring you honor and glory. And the next thing you know, you're not. You just become comfortable and complacent with each other, and then you begin to say, oh my gosh, really this I don't even really want to be with this person. And God is like, but you said. but you said. And so what is it that what are the promises? Are you one that keeps your promises to God? We see an example of a beautiful woman of God who kept her promise to God. Well, I pray that this word has blessed you. I pray that you'll take some time to spend time in this word, looking at Hannah and seeing what you can learn from her, because there are so many lessons here. I pray this has blessed you. Share it with someone else. And I look forward to seeing you when we get together again on the next 5 at 5. Be blessed.